Hi guys, how's it going? So I'm back at the allotment today and I've got loads of cut flowers to plant out. Yay! So exciting. So last year we did a few cut flowers. I was just sort of testing the water. We did some snapdragons, cosmos, some flowers, dahlias. But this year I thought I'd sort of amp up the amount of cut flowers that we're going to do. So I've sown quite a few more. So I'll just sort of talk you through which ones we've got, and I'll put a little picture up on the screen as well so you can see what they're going to look like. So the first one I did was zinnias. So these are one of the most easiest seeds to sow, really easy. So they've been sown, they've grown on, they're looking really good. The next ones are straw flowers. So again, these are really good for cut flowers. They dry really well as well. So you can either use them as sort of fresh cut flowers or you can use them as dry cut flowers, and they keep their colour really well apparently. So yeah, that's a new one for me to try. But I've grown the seedlings. The seedlings are looking really healthy, ready to go into the ground. What else have we got? Snapdragons. Yeah, we've got some snapdragons to sow. Again, those are so easy to sow, so easy to grow, and they just give you an abundance of flowers as well. So we've got those. What else? Cosmos. We've got some cosmos to grow. So we did that last year. They were so prolific. They got huge, so many flowers. So I thought we've got to put them in again. They're brilliant as sort of cut flowers as well, and they just carry on going all season long. So we've got those. And then we've got our dahlias. So I've potted the dahlias up at home. They're just growing on, and I think maybe in a few days time, a week's time, I'm going to plant them out as well. So we've got a little dahlia section and then a little cut flower section as well. And then the ones, I've got another two lots. So I've got Rudbeckia, which I actually cheated with these. I bought these plants from the garden centre because I didn't sow them. And then there was another Rudbeckia which randomly came up in the garden, just one singular one. So I've taken that out and I'm going to plant it out in the cut flower garden here at the allotment. On top of that, we have got some more cut flowers. They're more sort of filler flowers. I sowed them a little bit later. So we've got Bells of Ireland, baby's breath and sea holly, but they're still too small really to plant out. So I'm going to sort of baby them a bit at home and then we'll plant them out at a later stage. So I'll just show you the seedlings I've got and then I will show you where they're going to go. So these are our seedlings that we're going to plant out today. Oh, and I just noticed there's a couple of foxglove that I had left over that I'd sowed, which I'm going to put in as well. So yeah, a real mix of cut flowers. So we've got the two bought Rudbeckia there. We've got some straw flowers, there's cosmos. This is the other Rudbeckia that I dug up from the garden. I think it's a Rudbeckia, that's where I had one last year and it came back up. I think that's the cherry brandy variety. Those are the two foxgloves that I've still got left over. Tons of zinnias and then more cosmos and then lots of snapdragons as well. So this year we've decided to do something slightly differently. So we've got this sort of end bit to our allotment here, which we've got 5 dwarf fruit trees growing. Now they're still very tiny. We only planted them I think the beginning of last year. They're still very tiny. So what we decided to do was actually to utilise the space while these fruit trees were growing. And me and Elise came up, or Elise and I, Elise and I came up and we sowed some wildflower seeds all the way in this patch. So actually, if you have a look, I mean there are some weeds, but there's a lot of the seeds starting to come up. Obviously a lot of grass as well. So I think these are mostly wildflower seeds, which is really exciting. So the plan is to have a big sea of colour here with sort of wildflowers, and then the plan as well is to plant all of our cut flowers in this section as well. So we're literally going to have a sea of colour with all different types of flowers, which I think is going to be amazing if it all works out. So yeah, this is the area we're going to do the cut flowers in, the ones we've got today, and there's a few other obviously that I mentioned that we've got at home. Next to that we will have a sort of dahlia patch as well, so we've got room for sort of 2 rows of dahlias here as well. So they're going to sort of, yeah, just be next to the other cut flowers. So what I thought is I'd just kind of just dot them about and then plant them in and then see how they go. So it's going to be a right mishmash, and there's no sort of straight rows of different types of varieties and things. I'm just going to grow them very willy-nilly, messy this year, and just see how it goes. And I think, you know, if it all works out, it should be really, really pretty and have a really nice section of the allotment just dedicated to flowers. Right, let's get them planted. Alright guys, so I got them planted. So yeah, obviously there's lots of wildflower seeds and a few weeds, but all of those pots I've planted up. So I actually counted the pots. There were 42 pots of flowers that I've potted up, that I've planted out today. My goodness. My hand's a little bit hurting as well. It's got a little bit of a blister on it from where I've been digging with the trowel. See, this is when you need one of those fancy auger things that they have in these fancy gardening programs, but I haven't got that, so I had to use a trowel. But yeah, 42 flowers, and then adding on all those wildflowers as well. It's going to be amazing, I hope. I'm just hoping for just a sea of colour, so like a really just happy, vibrant, happy place. Yeah, so looking forward to it. The plants are all looking well, so I can't see why they wouldn't sort of flourish and flower. All I've got to do now is just keep them watered, yeah, bit of weeding in between, and yeah, watch them grow. So super exciting. All right guys, so I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's sort of inspired you maybe to go out and plant some of your own flowers. Maybe even if you haven't sowed them, just go out and buy a few sort of cheap flowers from the garden centre and plant them maybe at your allotment, just to kind of brighten things up. Sometimes allotments can be a little bit sort of drab and green because there's just sort of vegetables, there's a few fruit in there, but it's nice to get a little bit of colour in there. I'm also planning to put some bulbs in the autumn so that in this early spring they're going to come up and provide just a little bit of colour at the allotment. So next up are going to be the dahlias, the next flowers that we're going to plant out, and I'm hoping to plant them out within the next week. So I'll sort of take you along for the ride, show you what sort of dahlias we're planting as well. All right guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.